So it's been 30 years, 30 whole years since the DW-6900 released. I'm sure there's many of you that will remember that day and many of you that weren't even born yet. For me personally, I would have been 2 years old, so yeah, I wasn't necessarily hitting the shops to go and pick one up, but thanks to their timeless design, I suppose, I feel like I've known them forever. Anyway, to celebrate their 30th anniversary, they released 3 special edition models, which included a popping red, a vibrant yellow, and this black, which is very cool. So let's rewind the clock a bit and get into it all. So, as mentioned, the 6900 first launched in 1995 and marked a rounded departure from the more traditional square-shaped design of G-Shock, although it wasn't actually the first to do so. We saw the likes of the 6000 in 1990, the Frogman's debut in 93, even the Jason in 1994. The 6600 that also released in 94 even had the same silhouette as the 6900, and while that is still very popular, it didn't quite hit like the 6900 did. But this one of course adds in that triple graph, or 3 eyes as they're more informally known. However, this also wasn't the first G-Shock to feature those either. The 5900 introduced those in 1992. So what was so different about the 6900? Well, technically, not much. But combining elements of both the aforementioned, as well as taking inspiration from the original DW-5000C of course, evidently struck a chord, and this has become one of the most recognisable G-Shocks ever made, and one of the most popular, especially with me. You didn't think I'd get through a video without saying it, did ya? The DW-6900 is my favourite G-Shock model of all time. Actually, not just my favourite G-Shock model, my favourite watch model of all time. I absolutely love these things, as many of you will already know. These have become a staple across so many subcultures, beloved by fans of music, sports, and even the military. I mentioned in one of my recent panel talks how growing up you'd see one of your favourite hip-hop artists wearing these, then walk down to your local skate park and see them wearing the same. G-Shock have absolutely nailed that sweet spot across so many different walks of life. And we've seen this line evolve so much over the years too. With the likes of the 6900X with its low temperature resistance that released in 1996. In 2009, we saw the GW-6900 that introduced multiband 6 and tough solar, a massively popular model that one. The more rare GLX-6900 that introduced the tide graph and moon data in 2010. In 2012, we saw the first one to introduce Bluetooth with the GB-6900. We also got some even chunkier models in the GDXs, which I absolutely love, especially my polarized marble edition. And then more recently in 2020, to mark their 25th anniversary, we got the metal covered GM6900s. Absolute fire once again. We've seen so many different materials and finishes used over the years, some more subtle, some very outrageous, but all awesome timepieces. I mean, we've even seen completely iced out ones on the likes of Pharrell and Cristiano Ronaldo. So yeah, it's been a hell of a 30 years. So where does this commemorative series come in? So this DW-6900TR series actually takes inspiration from one of their very first drops, the very first one to see some colour in fact. The skateboarding themed DW-6900H Thrasher series of 1995, one that saw a whole lot of hype at the time. And while the spider and skull graphics of the original are absent on these ones, these new models pay a nice tribute with a sleek and modern design. One notable change is the light. For starters, these are now LED lights rather than electroluminescent. I prefer electroluminescent and make that very well known, but this does now mean we get a longer battery life at 5 years rather than the 2 to 3 of the OGs. And on this series in particular, we get a very cool Since 1995 in bold red display when the light's ignited. Beneath this, of course, we've got the watch's iconic large G light button, which is metal on this one as opposed to resin, something that might seem minor but differentiates these from your standard models and gives them a nice pop and more premium feel. Then to round off the tributes, we've got 30 stars engraved into the watch's stainless steel caseback. I'm very sad and counted them, can confirm there is 30. And as you will have seen, the watch arrives in some special edition packaging that mirrors the colour theme of the collection. So yeah, very nicely done. And what's even cooler is that these are priced right at the entry level of the G-Shock catalogue at £99.90 in the UK or $120 in the US, which is ledge and not only offers you another option if you're wanting to pick a 6900 up, but comes rooted in some G-Shock history too. Kind of a if you know type vibe. I really like the colourway of all three to be honest, but this is naturally the most versatile, being black with some cool red accents. My 5-year-old Spider-Man obsessed boy actually called it a Miles Morales watch the other day, so apparently it gives you some hero status too. I'll take that all day. In terms of dimensions, this is a chunky G-Shock of course and comes in with a length of 53.2mm, it's 50mm in width and is 18.7mm thick, weighing approximately 67 grams. Now again, as many of you will know, this is not the first time I've mentioned the 6900, nor will it be the last, but I've worn these forever and the comfort levels are top drawer. Perfect for those with smaller wrists if you want something oversized, or if your wrists are so big that you make a watch like this look small, then fair play to you, my friend. But yeah, however you want to spin it, these things look wicked. In terms of functions, we've got that entry-level standard G-Shock functionality with the likes of a stopwatch, countdown timer, alarm with an hourly time signal, calendar, as well as 200 meters of water resistance. So yeah, rather extensive, and the 4 buttons on the outer of its case will allow you to easily navigate through every single one of them. The 6900 is 30 years old, it's been around for a long time, but I feel like it's never really fallen off, it's never truly left. This is such an iconic timeless design that will no doubt be a mainstay in the watch world for the next 30 years too, and beyond. The fact the 6900 has outlived trends, tech shifts, etc., even entire genres of music that once made it famous is absolutely wild. Like many of the OG G-Shock models, it still absolutely bangs in 2025. You can easily throw one of these on and it looks just as good with streetwear, a wetsuit, a formal suit if you want to. I actually wore the silver GM 6900 on my wedding day, which tells you all you need to know about me really, doesn't it? I thought it looked good, so that was enough. But yeah, as you can probably tell, I'd always recommend a 6900 as a first watch, and this one in particular is a great place to start. For you collectors out there, this is a great one to snatch up. And for those of you that are just getting into G-Shocks, this is an everyday model that has a bit more meaning to it. A quick win if you want something subtly unique. A light flex, as it were. This is another anniversary model done properly. Nothing too crazy, nothing OTT, just a nice little nod, you know? So what's next? Well, naturally I'd like to see some more 6900s on their anniversary year, and yet, despite what I just said, happy for them to go crazy now they've released these. Will we get an updated full metal version? Some GMs perhaps? Who knows? As always guys, let me know your thoughts. If you've got one of these or any stories you might have with the model, share them in the comments. I'm always in them, so I look forward to seeing you there. And also, if you want to stay up to date with all of the latest drops as they happen, get behind the scenes content and access to our exclusive giveaways, sign up to the Time Drops newsletter right now as I'm just about to announce our next G-Shock giveaway. Thanks again guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.